Parents of teenagers, listen up. Manchester police are warning about a planned takeover at the shops at Buckland Hills tomorrow. Now, your reporter Katie Cohen is there live. Katie, why is this such a concern for police right now?
Well, Stephanie, police say takeovers like this can be extremely dangerous, especially when flyers have been circulating on social media calling for teenagers to come and bring the drama. That's why Manchester police are calling in all the help they can get. We learned tonight that they will be calling in help from surrounding towns, police departments if needed. South Windsor police tell Channel 3 they can come help at the mall or just cover other calls across Manchester. They'll do whatever Manchester police ask. But the priority tonight for Manchester police is asking parents to talk to their teenagers about the consequences of being involved in a mall takeover like this. Not only can they be dangerous, but police say there will be real consequences. We saw that 2 weeks ago at West Farms Mall when 2 teens were arrested during a fight. Channel 3 law enforcement analyst retired Lieutenant J. Paul Vance tells me those teens can face charges like disorderly conduct and breach of peace. And he stresses the concerns that police are facing right now.
These types of incidents, they seem like they're innocent. They seem like they're not problematic. But quite frankly, it's quite the opposite. You never really know what could happen. You know, you could get young people from one school in the rival school there, let's say two separate schools there, people from out of town. And that in and of itself can become confrontational.
Retired Lieutenant Vance also told me that he expects both uniformed and undercover officers to be inside and around the mall tomorrow night. We should note that this teen takeover was actually planned for last Saturday, but after police found the post and circulated information about it, the teenagers decided to do it tomorrow. Your reporter live in Manchester, Katie Cohen, Channel 3 Eyewitness.